In a paper published in 2008, the person or group of persons who helped design the original Bitcoin software and expose the notion of cryptocurrencies to the rest of the world did so under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Since roughly 2010, when he last participated in the development of Bitcoin and the blockchain, Nakamoto has been completely absent from the public discourse regarding either project. Nakamoto was not the first person to come up with the idea of cryptocurrency. Nonetheless, he was the one who solved a crucial obstacle that had been preventing its widespread use. Unlike paper currency, cryptocurrency could be reproduced. This issue, which was referred to as double spending, was resolved by Nakamoto's invention of the blockchain system of verification. It would appear that the persona of Satoshi Nakamoto was involved in the early days of Bitcoin, working on the first version of the program in 2007. The email was used for both sending and receiving communication with Nakamoto. Due to the absence of any personal or background information, it was impossible to determine the true identity of the individual hiding behind the moniker. However, Satoshi Nakamoto's involvement with Bitcoin came to an end in the year 2010. The final communication that anyone had with Nakamoto was an email that was sent to another crypto developer. In the email, Nakamoto explained that they had moved on to other things. Since it is impossible to put a face to the name, significant speculation has arisen regarding Nakamoto's identity. This is especially true given the rise in the number of cryptocurrencies as well as their popularity and notoriety. Achievements that stand out in particular. In 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto disseminated cryptocurrencies to a far wider audience through the publication of a paper, which served as the impetus for the subsequent surge in popularity. The ability to duplicate a digital currency or token in many transactions is not present in physical currencies, since a physical note or coin may only exist in one location at any given moment. However, a digital currency or token can exist in multiple locations at the same time. Because a digital currency is not anchored to any specific location in the real world, its use in a transaction does not automatically result in its removal from its owner's control. As a consequence of this, it was given the moniker of the double spend dilemma because it was possible for it to be spent more than once. Historically, one of the solutions that were utilized to tackle the issue of double spending was the utilization of reliable third-party intermediaries. These intermediaries would check to see if the bearer of a digital currency had already spent it. In the vast majority of situations, third parties like banks can properly handle transactions without incurring a considerable amount of additional risk. This trust-based strategy does, however, result in additional costs and the danger of fraud because, in the past, trusted third parties are undeserving of the trust that was placed in them. It is not often the institutions that are providing the third-party validation services that are not trustworthy. Rather, it is the people who are participating in the transactions that are not trustworthy. Therefore, the human element must be eliminated. At this time, the only option to circumvent the need for human participation in financial matters is through the use of cryptography and automatic group consensus mechanisms. Using ledgers, a network, Merkle roots and trees, timestamps, incentives, cryptography, and a consensus process, Nakamoto presented a decentralized method for handling transactions. A timestamp is appended to the details of each transaction that is recorded in a blockchain, and cryptographic methods are utilized to encrypt the data. The data that has been encrypted cannot be altered, but it does need to be confirmed. Proof of work is a mechanism for reaching an agreement among the majority of network participants that is required for the network to use to validate the legitimacy of the transactions. A malicious actor would have a tough time, if not an impossible time, gaining enough control of the system to rewrite the ledger in their favor because the record of transactions is dispersed over a large number of nodes in the system. The amount of computational power that is necessary to change the data in a blockchain is high enough that it deters hackers from attempting to do so on a smaller scale. Hackers would require a network that could verify and create blocks at a faster rate than the present network. It would then need to inject the new blockchain into the main network at the appropriate time to overwrite the existing one. Additionally, they would have to simultaneously implement several other types of blockchain attacks. Wealth analysis of Bitcoin's blockchain has helped to determine with a reasonable degree of certainty which addresses are most likely Satoshi Nakamoto's. According to the findings of a chain analysis conducted by Sergio Demian Lerner, the principal scientist at RSK Labs, Satoshi reportedly possesses approximately 1 million Bitcoin. These addresses dating back to 2008 when Bitcoin was first introduced. Bitcoin's founders almost certainly had no other option but to maintain their anonymity. If identities were revealed, it's possible that the exposure would completely upend the lives of the people who created it. Because of the high probability that criminals would target them, it would probably be in their best interest to conceal their identities. Although no one has been able to determine who Nakamoto is, it has been determined that the value of the Bitcoins that are believed to be under Nakamoto's control, which are thought to number somewhere around 1 million in total, is extremely significant. Given that the total number of bitcoins that can ever be created is capped at 21 million, Nakamoto's stake of 5% of the total number of bitcoins carries a significant amount of market power. It has been suggested that a few different individuals be the real Satoshi Nakamoto. However, none of these individuals has been conclusively shown to be Nakamoto. Individuals who might have been Nakamoto. In a piece that appeared in Newsweek in March of 2014, Leah McGrath Goodman credited a California-based scholar and engineer by the name of Dorian Nakamoto as the person responsible for developing Bitcoin. According to McGrath's report, the trail followed by Newsweek led to a 64-year-old Japanese-American man whose name is Satoshi Nakamoto, but later inquiry determined that this Nakamoto was not the true Satoshi Nakamoto. Before and after the launch of Bitcoin, Hal Finney was an active member of the Bitcoin community. He was also the first individual to receive Bitcoin as payment for a transaction. In addition to this, it just so happened that he resided within a few blocks of Dorian Nakamoto, the one who some people believe provided Finney with the idea for a pseudonym that he came up with. Nick Szabo, a pioneer of the cypherpunk movement, was friendly with a number of the members of that group. In 2005, he authored a post on his blog in which he proposed the concept of a digital currency that would not be reliant on the confidence of third parties and was given the name BitGold. It has also been determined that 5 Szabo is not a viable option. Craig Wright is one of the more interesting candidates that have been suggested for the identity of the person who goes by Satoshi Nakamoto. On multiple occasions, Dr. Wright, an Australian professor and businessman, has asserted that he is the mysterious figure known as Satoshi, going so far as to become involved in legal proceedings concerning ownership of the identity. A civil case against Wright that had been initiated by the estate of a former co-worker who had passed away, David Kleiman, was dismissed by a jury in December of 2021. The estate of Kleiman maintained that Wright and Kleiman co-created Bitcoin together, and that as a result, it was entitled to half of Wright's estimated 1.1 million BTC stockpile. However, the jury and the court decided to award $100 million to the Kleiman estate, which indicates that they believe Wright and Kleiman worked on the project together in some capacity. Also in the year 2021, a court in the United Kingdom issued an order requiring Bitcoin.org to remove the Bitcoin white paper from its website because the website was infringing on Wright's copyright of the white paper. This order demonstrated the court's belief that Wright held intellectual property rights to the paper in some capacity. If you like this video, follow us and you will find many videos that will help you to transform your life. Thanks for watching all the video. Please subscribe and hit the bell. See you soon.